Yeah, we should start. Oh no, my handmade Subway hat.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Get your hat. I mean, you told me. I mean, you got me. You got me.
Hey, you told me to cut my hair. The barbershops are still closed, so I had to improvise. What do you think?
Represent Subway life.
Subway life. You know, anyone can do this. Go Subway.
It's our second episode.
Second episode, and you know, you can speak on this a little more, but we got a lot of feedback, right?
We did, and you know, I was glad that it was positive. We just wanted to. I mean, I don't know about you, but it's all about making it fun and like giving them something to laugh at while dealing with this seriousness. So the email was very, very nice.
Very nice. And you know, the biggest one obviously was length. You know, a lot of people don't want to sit through 20 plus minutes of our banter back and forth. And even though a lot of it was educational, we get it. So we've heard everyone loud and clear, and we're going to shorten this just to make sure everyone is staying focused on the information that we're putting out.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, how was your week? Like, what things did you implement in your territory? What have you guys gone through?
You know, it's a lot of just reassurance, you know, following up on who's making sure we're wearing the masks, you know, the food safety. It's just constant, you know, following up with stores, reaching out to managers, talking to managers, making sure all that stuff is being implemented and continuously being practiced in the store. And, you know, for the most part, I'd say 99% of everyone is doing a really, really, really good job. I mean, I think you spoke on this last week, and you just talked about how impressed you were with the response from everyone, how everyone's just kind of been able to adapt to these times. And I think it really goes to show how great of a community we have between the franchisees, the employees, the managers. Everyone involved has just done an outstanding job.
Yeah, I think we need to pay attention to that, because I think the perception has changed for our guests. Like, my second biggest complaint right now is employees not wearing masks.
Managers following up with that, and they are wearing their masks, but subconsciously we don't understand. It's like, even if you were to like lift it up for a second and you went to the back room, or you went to the restroom and you came back, and if a customer for whatever reason doesn't see you with it covering your nose and your mouth, they're gonna be a little bit more sensitive than usual, right?
Yeah. Oh, good. I was gonna talk about this.
There we go.
Know how confused I have been with this? I don't know about you. I had to call Brennan at 10 o'clock last night. Poor guy. He's been getting phone calls from me like 24/7. Because it's a little bit confusing as far as like, if somebody says yes, how much time off, how much, when can they come back? And I don't know if you knew this already or not, but I talked to Brennan last night, and if somebody says yes to the symptoms, they have to be off 7 days from when the first symptom came about. And then if you have a fever, it's 3 days fever free, but still that minimum of 7 days. So, So ultimately, if you have a fever, you could be out 10 days.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it says it at the bottom of this form. I took a screenshot of what you can download from the feed in the COVID-19 section. And this is really what everyone should be using. This isn't required. It's a good recommendation and a tool that Subway has created for everyone to try and implement in their stores, so that we don't have any, you know, issues that could lead to more serious cases.
Which is really good, because I had a circumstance where an owner did a really good job. Employee was coughing, they sent her home, and it's been 2 weeks, and she had gone to the doctor and I guess called and said she was positive.
Wow.
Yeah, so kudos to that franchisee. I don't want to disclose any names, but that really made me feel proud that they followed the protocol. So they, they had to close and detail clean, even though it had been, almost 2 weeks. But imagine if they didn't follow protocol.
Yeah, there's the resources are there, right? The feed has so many resources, and it's always on the home screen on the feed. When you go in there, you click it. It's a little bit easier to navigate than it originally was too. It's broken up into sections, operations, marketing, so on and so forth. And you just really have to go on there and look at it on a regular basis. I know you and I are on there every day just trying to stay on top of what's changed. And, as long as you're following the protocol, the educational piece is the most important. And there's even a new University of Subway course out there that's related to this. So, you just gotta keep yourself educated to understand what the steps are, like you just described.
Yeah. Ooh, Subway grocery. I've been posting this on Instagram like every day. Sorry.
Yeah, this is really the last little piece we're going to talk about for a couple minutes, and I know that in Riverside the response has been pretty huge. And I know you've had a lot of interest in this too. There is some concerns, and the sign up is really easy, so I don't want to get into that. The piece that most people need to understand and really pay attention to is the mini manager setup, because it's going to require you to create those special keys, right? Because there's only one key, and then you price override.
Right.
And so the big concern with that is because there's not individual keys to ring up each specific item. Well, one of the easy fixes, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but some people, what they're doing is they're doing a transfer out of those items so that it removes it from their inventory. So that is the best practice that I'm aware of right now that can help make your paperwork a little bit more consistent and accurate. Because ringing this up is not going to remove those large ticket items from your Weiser.
I think that's a great idea, but you still have to ring it up for sales.
Yes.
Tracking to see the program. So definitely we still have to ring it up, but I love the idea of transferring it out so that your Weiser is accurate. That way it doesn't show a huge waste. That's awesome. I only have 30 stores on Subway Grocery as of today. But I'm hoping after I make a few phone calls that more people roll out with it, because it doesn't hurt you to be on it.
Yeah, and have you been getting feedback as far as the dollar amounts of the orders? I've had several reach out to me and say their first orders were well over $100, which is fantastic.
Yes, and it's so easy because all you do is you open the fridge, you take a Subway to-go box, and you just take 1 pack of turkey, 4 tomatoes. That's so easy. There's like no labor.
And then you put it in a t-shirt bag and you're good to go.
I love it. I'm excited for this. I know, like, it's just an extra way to get sales, and it's a good way to put our name out in the community. And every time I hit Google, you know how you get those articles on your phone? I've seen it 3 times in a week already.
That just means it's doing well, and it's bringing in sales that we didn't have. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it for today. I know it seems super short to me. We've already gone past 10 minutes, I believe. So, we're going to just wrap it up and get on to the next one and get this video out to you guys.
All right. Well, it's good catching up with you. I prefer the Subway hat, can you figure out how to keep that?
I don't think this is going to stay long term. So, I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and somehow cut my own hair.
Actually, I can't even speak on that. No. But anyways, but I created a survey, and I'm going to share it with you so we could send it out to the owners just to get a feel of who's doing this and who's not.
Excellent. Yep. The more knowledge we have, the better we can support those that are utilizing this in the field. And
Cool.
We'll see everyone next time.